Hello, my friends. You ever had a woman that you just always clash with? No, no concerns for your well-being. Dealing with a grumpy person. Back in a moment. Hello, my friends. This is BobbieD coming to you live from the Philippines. Having an awesome time in the Philippines today. Hope you are as well wherever you're from. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about dealing with someone that's rather difficult. You know, you could call her angry woman. Sometimes people call her always a temple, whatever you want to call her, dealing with it. And it's difficult sometimes, man. So I'm going to walk you through some things that you'll know how to handle a situation when it does come about. Okay? Here we go. Let's jump off right into it and get this straightened out. Okay? Thumbnail for today. No hocus pocus, just thumbnail. Grumpy, man. Sometimes, grumpiness leads to bumpiness. When you have a bump in the road, what happens? You go up, you go down, sometimes you fall off and you get back on. But, it's up and down. And that's what happens. That's life. So how do you deal with it? Number one, focus for today. No hocus pocus, just focus. Number one, set boundaries. Okay? It's important to set boundaries in any avenue you endeavor to be in. Have heart to heart. Number two, talk, man. Communication is one of the most important elements of any relationship. Number three, keep your distance, man. Okay? Sometimes you got to back off. And number four, reconsider. If it continues, you can't do anything else, you got to reconsider. Here we go. Number one. What's number one? Here we go. Set boundaries. Okay? Very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, that you set boundaries in your relationship, whether you're an employee on a job, whether you're in your community, whether in your church. I don't care. Whatever, when you're dealing with somebody else, one or more other people's, set your limitations, set your boundaries, set your standards. When you set boundaries, when you set standards, then you're telling this other person, okay, this is my line. Do not cross this line with me. Because if you cross this line with me, you're going to have a time with me. That's what you're telling them. And when they cross that line, if you don't do nothing about it, you're the punk. I'm sorry. But, you're letting them, allow them to walk over you as a what? Doormat. I mean, who wants to be like that? Do you want to go through life where everybody just wipe their feet on you? And then you say, this is my boundary, no step, you better not step on my boundary, please don't do that. And then next thing you know, they're stepping over you. That comes into, it can be sometimes a little alarming. So it's important that you talk, work things out to find out what's going on, because it's very important that you resolve issues as they come up in your relationship. That's how you stay together. You work together, you talk things out, you work them out, and hopefully they'll come back together. Number two, number one, set boundaries. Yeah, you got to set boundaries, man. Everybody needs a boundary in their life. The boundary identifies your limits, man. That's what a boundary is for. It delineates your limitations. It puts a window, a wall, a line, a cross in the sand. This is me. This is what I stand for. This is what I don't stand for. And then let's move forward in that. And then that person has to do the same thing. Both mutual parties have to do what? Set boundaries. And both parties have to respect each other's what? Boundaries. That's important, man. If you don't respect your partner's boundary, they don't respect yours, you're going to have chaos in the relationship. Okay? And whenever you identify your limits in a relationship, then if you do not set boundaries, they will have mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual. All of those have to be set as a type of boundary, as a type of limit that you will deal with. When you have no mental boundary, you have no emotional boundary, you have no physical or spiritual boundary, anything goes. Number B, when she cops in that, sometimes, your lady will cop an attitude on you, man. And it's hard to deal with it, If it happens, but you got to deal with it. If you love her, right? Let her know where you're not going there. Sometimes you got to back off. Say, look, I know you got some issues with this, man, but I don't really want to deal with this right now. Let's just talk about, focus on some other issues. And then sometimes when you have an opportunity, you have to talk about it when you're in a better mood. That's what you do. You just talk about it when the mood is better, when the time is better. That's how you do. You talk about it and you walk about it and you grow about it and you learn about it and you do about it. That's how you do. Now, grumpy, grumpy. You remember Grumpy on the Snow White and the door? He always had an attitude. Sometimes they can be like that. Sometimes men can do the same thing. It's not just limited to women. It's also men can be grumpy as well. But right now we're dealing with the lady part because a lot of you guys are having Filipinos that are very, very grumpy. You can call it tempo, whatever you want to call it, but you got to deal with it. If you love her, if you want to stay in that relationship, it has to be worked out to both of your satisfaction. Okay. Number two. Now let's talk about the next one. Have a heart to heart. Sometimes you got to sit down, talk to her, walk with her, speak with her, deal with her, and see what's really going on. Ask her why she's that way. And then gain some insight about it. When you gain insight about it, that may let you know, okay, I've been doing something crazy and I need to stop it. And if I stop this, hopefully she was, you change, And if same thing, she may say, well, you've been doing this and I'm tired of it. And then you got to change too. Both of you have to make adjustments to the situation. When you gain insight, then when you know better, do what? You do better. Could be a family matter. Could be something, relationship concern. Clear up the concerns, man. Clear it up. If you don't clear it up, the concerns will clear you up. Okay? Listen, it's important that you talk about it, gain insight about it, work on that situation, and then begin to resolve it. Number three, we're gonna run this real quick. Keep your distance. Sometimes, man, you gotta back up. Gotta back that thing up. Because if it ain't working, you can't force it. If it don't fit, don't force it. You gotta back up till it's ready to be fit. If the problem still persists, chill. You gotta take a chill pill. Back up. Don't be mean. Don't cuss nobody out. Don't start the name calling. All that just makes the matters worse. Then got to put some ice on that situation. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you get an injury to your body, you break an arm, you broke a leg, you just hurt your hand or whatever, you hit it, you got a big bump, a big bruise. What did I tell you? First thing you do, what? Put some ice on it. You got to put some ice on that situation, man. And when you start putting the ice on it, what happens? The swelling goes down. And then the healing process comes in, and that arm begins to level out, and the bones come back in together, and you're whole again. So sometimes you got to put some ice on the situation, man. And when you do that, sometimes it turns out better. Okay. Now, number 4, we get ready to go out this door. Reconsider your relationship. If everything you've done all these things, and you're still having a man, and you're getting sick and tired, and they're getting sick and tired, and you're like, man, was it worth it? You got to reconsider it, man. You got to reconsider it. Because nobody wants to spend their life being mumbled and crumbled. She mad at you, you mad at her. You both come at each other constantly. That's not the way to live. You got to understand. Maybe it's time to move on. Maybe it's time to back up. Maybe it's time to make some changes. Relationship changes happen all the time. Yelling, arguing, fussing. It's not worth it, man. And when your mind ain't right, your attitude ain't right, and everything you do turns out wrong, both of you have to sit down and say, look, is this going to work? If it works, you got to make it work, okay? That means both of you have to work together to resolve the issues that's coming between you. It is not you. Sometimes it's really not you. Sometimes it's really not her. It is the issues that come between you and her that cause you to go at it. When you identify the concerns, when you identify the issues that are causing the problem, then you can tackle the issues and not each other. So often in life, couples tackle each other when they need to tackle the issue. Issues of life is what bring us down a lot. The issues of life is what cause us stress. The issues of life is what cause us to hurt each other and cause us to say things that's wrong. Deal with the issues and leave the personalities alone. When you deal with the issues, then you can separate what's right, what's wrong, what works, and what doesn't. Then you can salvage that relationship, okay? That's how you deal with your lady, your man, and you can flip the script on this, ladies. Men the same way. Both grumpy, bumpy, attitude, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same thing. Somebody's disagreeable. They don't want to listen. They have a hard head. Man or woman, we got to work it out. And how do you work it out? Talk it out. And if the talking don't work, walk it out. You got to reconsider your relationship. Number 1. Let's go. Real quick summary. Real quick. Here's the thumbnail for today. Talked about setting boundaries. Okay. Number 1. We talk about setting boundaries. You got to have a limitation, man. And we talk about if the boundary setting don't work, they don't understand your boundary, they keep crossing your boundary, you guys have the heart to heart. Sit down, man. So look, what you say? Okay, let's talk about this. And come to some understanding of what's really going on. And then you got to have If that don't work, you set boundaries. You had to talk about it. You keep going. You have to do what? Keep your distance. You got to put a chill on it. You got to put a chill pill on that thing. Because a lot of times when you back off the situation, sometimes it gives them an opportunity to think, and sometimes it gives you an opportunity to think. And so when you come back together, you have best fresh attitudes, fresh minds, and you can deal with the problem. You see the problem from a different what? Perspective, and it becomes a more manageable in your relationship. Are you with me so far? Let's go. Last one. And then we talked about this. Sometimes, man, you got to just reconsider. Hey, is this really working? Have we tried this? Have we tried that? Have we tried? Always try everything you can, man. Always before you throw in the towel. It doesn't make sense if you throw in the towel too early because you didn't try everything. Then when you do get rid of it, you will have what? Regrets. Do not live life with a number of regrets. Try every opportunity to deal with the relationship, to deal with the situation for both parties, not just one. Both parties have to understand what is really going on. That's what I want you to know today, ladies and gentlemen. Take consideration of every opportunity to work things out. Okay. All right, thumbnail for today. We done. Let's go to the people. Get ready. Whether the train is coming, don't need no ticket. Just get on board. I'm gonna ride this train today. Who we got? First man up in the house. Okay. Who we got? Sincerely, him. First lady up. What's up, Sincerely? He said, Manganga. Oh my God. Manit. Nah, Umaga Filipinas. Okay. So you back. So good to see you in the house today. This is all we got, ladies and gentlemen. We got first lady up. Sincerely, I'm so good to see you, my dear. Haven't seen you in quite some time. Hope you're doing well. This is going to be a very big month for you and a special man in your life. I hope y'all meet together, greet together, and get along together, get along well. But if you're having any issues, follow this pattern I just mentioned, and you will be all right. Okay? So good to see you in the house today. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us today. We got a real quick show. I'm running it real quick, real tight, real right, real long, and real strong. That's it. So good to see you, Sincerely. Tell your boyfriend I say hello. All right, guys. That's it for now. This is BobbieD say take care. God bless. And let me get myself together here. Take care. God bless. And peace. I will see you on the backside of tomorrow. Yeah. Peace.